everyone. Welcome to I Cook, You Measure. I'm your host, Jen Mueller. Joining me today, it is a first for the show. A soccer legend, Brad Evans, is going to help me with our dish and with our measuring and with our wine. I probably should have asked you this before. Your comfort level in the kitchen is?
What's the scale? 1 to 10?
1 to 10.
10.
Oh.
Yeah, 10. This
Wow,
is
way
not
to
my
come out of the
this is not my first cooking show on the news or anything. So maybe it's a first for you, but it's not a first for me. So I'm stoked to be here and I'm ready to get going because this is something I've done before.
Why do I feel like I'm suddenly in competition with you and it's my show?
It's healthy. It's healthy competition. This is about sports. What are we supposed to do?
I don't think
Not
you
be in
understand
competition?
how competitive I am. We've talked about this before on the show. I am ultra competitive.
Well, if it's anything like your speech last year at the gala, I think I have an idea.
Okay.
So I'm ready to go. I'm stoked.
This is going to be awesome. What we are making today is a spin on risotto. It is barley risotto. So you're going to get the same flavors as if you were using the risotto rice, but it actually requires less attention because it's barley.
That's my favorite thing then.
Isn't
no
this gonna be
attention,
great?
set it and forget it.
That's right. It just gives us more time to drink wine and to pour wine, which means that that's like your cue to, that's your cue. So we are gonna have a wine from Betts Family Wineries. I would normally pair a white wine with risotto, especially since we're gonna use a little bit of white wine before we add the broth in there. But this is such an easy drinking table wine. It's a little bit on the lighter red side, and we're gonna add some andouille sausage to our risotto. And so kind of that spice and just the weight of it, I think is gonna stand up with that.
I do like that. You ready to pour?
You're pouring.
Well, yeah. Are you ready for me to pour?
Okay. Yes. I mean, I think that was a redundant question. Anybody who knows me, Brad, knows that I'm always ready.
You ready
for
to pour? Is that your personal license plate?
Ready to pour? I don't know. Boy, that's something to think about. I've always thought that vanity plates were a little bit on the, vain side. And now I'm thinking, I really should have a plate that says ready to pour.
I think it's the same size. Okay, we're getting into it. Yeah. Tastes
Easy
great.
drinking.
Easy.
That's great.
As
You
it
weren't
should
going to
be.
say that it was terrible, were you? You weren't going to say that.
So I like wine and I do partake, but I would not be able to tell you anything about it. I'm a gin guy.
Oh.
I like gin. So mixed drinks, great. Wine, awesome. I'll drink it. It's great.
That's perfect. Isn't that the
Ready to go.
motto of,
Yeah, just
I'll
put it
drink
down.
it?
Yeah.
That can be on
I'm
your
easy.
license plate.
I am easy.
That's, well.
Yeah, that's a perfect one. I'll take that one, you take the other one.
I'll take the other one.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start the base of the risotto.
Okay.
I'm gonna have you take the sweet potato that I've already peeled, and if you could get it into small, I don't wanna say dice, but the smaller it is, the easier it is to cook with, right? So if you can get that into like a small dice chop, and also the white part of this onion, that's gonna go in here first.
You just want the whites in there.
Yeah, that's where the flavor is.
Wait, you want it diced, though?
If you would slice that up a little bit, yeah. Yeah, the flavors in the white part, this is generally just for decoration purposes. Now, when you did the cooking show previously, and you cooked chicken parm, is that your specialty?
It's not really, it wasn't a specialty. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not a specialty, it's more just, I think, ease in a cooking show. Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward, right?
What
It
is your
wasn't
specialty?
like gourmet. I mean, I just make a lot of bowls. That's something simple. But like if you throw a recipe in front of me, I have a okay ability to get it done. My stepdad is like
ability to get it done.
I mean, I'll
there's
get
some
it done.
self-awareness there. I appreciate that.
It's not going to be like the best thing you've ever eaten, but I can follow directions.
Wait a minute.
What?
I guess it's a good thing I'm telling you what to do today then.
Yes. But my stepdad is like a really, really good cook. And so I kind of just grew up with, him in the kitchen and, we'd always have to help out. So I think as long as you can like read directions
This
and
is what I
know how to measure, It's just
and
fractions.
And they actually put the fraction. Unlike math class where you had to solve the problem, they actually tell you what is on the measuring cup and spoon.
Okay, so you want these like...
Yeah, I would do it, yes, exactly. Okay. Exactly what you were just doing there. Now, you wouldn't normally think about sweet potatoes in a risotto, but it has just this nice little, it's just a little sweetness and just a little heartiness.
I'm obsessed with sweet potatoes, like any way. So I coach high school soccer also, and so at Seattle Academy in downtown. So I am, for the better part of the year, like 6-7 months, home at 7:30 pretty much, and it's just like, okay, I just need something like stat, and so I just make a ton of bowls. That's pretty much my go-to.
How different is that schedule from when you were training yourself as an athlete?
So I mean, my first year with the Sounders was 2009, and as a soccer, it's way different. So I'm good friends with a bunch of the football players, and when they talk about their season, they are there all the time, right? Throughout the season, they're there like a 9 to 5. Soccer, it's such a long season that you would burn out guys if you're there all day long. So really you're in at 9:30 and you're home by 2:30 in the afternoon, right? Which is not bad, but it's also, being part of a really successful club. Yeah, exactly. It's a ton of running, yeah. Plus your weight sessions and, you got to do all the stuff afterward in the gym. But, the season is really, we start in January, and the club has been so good that we finish in December.
Yes.
And so some of my off seasons have literally been 2.5 weeks.
I can't fathom.
It's a bit of a disaster.
I can't fathom that.
Yeah. And it's a perks of playing for a really good club, right? You take the championships, you take the wins, but also at the same time, you're kind of like, I just need a break.
I can't even imagine that. Because yes, I will look at the schedule, or like we'll be in the middle of football season and soccer is still going on.
I know.
What is
wild.
This?
It is the longest calendar sport.
It is, yeah.
Are you going to do that, or is that, we're good?
Well, I'm going to let that sit. What I'd like for you to do is take that andouille sausage right there.
Yep.
So andouille sausage, you would find this a lot in like gumbos, jambalaya, that sort of a thing. It's got a little bit of a kick to it. If you would get that into, like I would cut it in half and then slice it. Yep. Okay. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper over here. Okay. So I was an athlete growing up. The one sport that I did not play was soccer.
Yeah, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Texas, and so this is the thing, mostly Houston.
Oh, each time.
And it's really hot in Texas, and there's a lot of running across a really big field.
I'm from Arizona. Don't duck.
You didn't have 90% humidity. Dry heat is different. And also, I played basketball. It's not like I didn't run, but the thought of running and maybe not touching a ball was ridiculous to me. Also, I think I've never said this out loud to anybody. I think the one time I played soccer in PE, I think I had an own goal.
Well, I've had own goals too in games. It's part of it.
I think that really deterred me from continuing. I'm like,
that can be a heartbreaker.
I can't do this.
That can be a heartbreaker.
I can't do this.
So soccer is definitely not for everyone, and it does require like a lot of patience.
Oh, that's not for me. That's also why golf is not for me.
Yeah, me either. I can't do like the
I can do a driving range for an hour. That's it.
I gotta be moving, right?
Right.
And soccer, well, I went to one t-ball practice and I cried the whole time when I was 5. And my mom, or I told my stepdad at the time, like, I'm not doing that again. So we got home and he was like, okay, tell your mom. And my mom said, okay, here's a coach's phone number. You can call him and tell him. And I was like, well, obviously I wasn't gonna do that. So I finished out that season, and then the next sport up was soccer for YMCA League. And I just like took to it really, really quick. And it became something that was like easy for me. And I loved it, and I didn't complain, I didn't cry. I like loved being out there. And it kind of just snowballed from there. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Good. Did I chop those right?
Yep, that's perfect. Okay. And that fat's gonna render a little bit in the pan and give us just a little bit more.
So yeah, I went to one practice, and then after like 4 years, nice shot. After 4 years.
Speaking of own goals.
My stepdad was there, and one of the other parents was like, hey, he's really good at soccer. And my parents didn't play sports. And he was like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, he's really good at soccer. You should be playing club soccer. And so went home, told my mom, and they signed me up for club soccer, and then it kind of just took off from there.
Can you give me a cup of this?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna measure out some broth because we need to get that heated up in the microwave. Yeah, barley, by the way, guys, looks a lot like oatmeal.
Yeah, it does. I don't think I've ever cooked with barley, actually. We're going straight in?
Straight in.
Okay, so we got the fat.
Yep, and this is the same process you would use for risotto. You would just use a different type of base.
Right.
If you would give me 2 cups in there, and then I'm gonna cheat, I'm gonna put it in the microwave. Some people have strong opinions about microwaves. I like them.
I mean, it makes everything easier.
That's what I think, but there are some people that don't like that. And you can, so fun fact, kids, when you are making risotto, the reason that you heat up the liquid is so that you don't halt the cooking process, right? So
usually it's in a pan next to it.
Exactly, it would be next to it and you would ladle it in. Unless you were lazy like me and you just put it in the microwave every time.
What do you want, a minute?
I'd probably do like 2 minutes. Yeah, if you just hit that. Oh, technical difficulties, kids.
We're good.
Okay, meanwhile, while you do that, again, same process if you were making regular risotto. If you would take that white wine, the recipe calls for about 3/4 of a cup. I'm gonna have you eyeball that.
Well, I got a cup right here.
It's true.
I got 3/4 right here.
Well, I mean, if you don't feel confident in your
guy.
measuring ability.
You're going straight in?
Yes.
With all, okay. No, I definitely don't feel confident pouring 3/4 a cup of the liquid without any sort of
you
tool.
can kind of fudge it when you're making risotto.
Well,
We're really cooking in
news to me.
Well, eventually.
It's a science, though, isn't it? Cooking?
Baking's a science.
Okay.
Cooking has a little bit more because we're not doing a super technical dish. What happens with a risotto is the grain is going to absorb the liquid. And when it gets to the point, like generally when you make risotto, you're adding it a little bit at a time, and you know when the grain can't absorb any more liquid, this will be just fine.
This will be good.
We'll be just fine. Yeah. In fact, tell you what, I'm gonna let this sit and get happy for just a second. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Dining in? I'm hand cut for the occasion.
Almost ready.
These moments are rare, so enjoy them. When you can. Sincerely, Hand Cut Steak. Sincerely, Safeway.
Welcome back to the show. We are making a barley risotto with sweet potato and andouille sausage. We've got 2 cups of broth heated up. And like we said, if you were making traditional risotto, what you would do is add this just a little bit at a time, and you would stir and you would let it absorb in. Guess what? Because it's barley,
we're going straight in?
You go straight in, the whole thing, and all you have to do.
This is a real risotto hack.
It really
I like this.
is.
This is a good way to cook risotto.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Right, so now we can just continue the conversation. When people ask you the story of your career, what is the highlight you talk about most often?
Yeah, highlight is definitely I scored a goal in Jamaica for the U.S. national team during a World Cup qualifier. It was my only goal for the U.S. team in almost 30 games. I was playing right back at the time. And in Jamaica, the stadium it's so different down there. There's no clocks. You don't know what time it is. You ask the referee, hey, what time is it? And they don't answer you. I ended up scoring a goal, the game-winning goal in the 92nd minute or something like that after stoppage time, and threw my shirt over my head, celebrated. And it was like the wildest thing, and pretty much sealed the team going to the World Cup in 2014, which I didn't get selected to, but was a big part of pushing that team to the World Cup.
Okay, can we talk about the rules of soccer and
Sure.
exactly what you were just talking about? Look, I'm a type A personality. I was a high school football official for 10 years. I know how to read a rule book. I really love structure around things.
Yeah.
You know what I don't love? Not knowing how much extra time there is in a game.
So they just changed that.
I don't like it. Well, thank you.
They changed it this year. If you go to a Sounders game, you will now look at the clock, and the clock goes all the way past 90 minutes.
But it's gotta drive you nuts on the field. It has to. Like prior to the rule change.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you
or
never
like when
know.
And then they signal a foul, and you're like, well, what was that?
Right, or how much time is actually left in the game.
Right.
It's a mystery. So that's what happened in Jamaica. I had no idea what time it was. There's no clocks.
I would be so irritated by that.
And you lose your mind.
The level of patience that requires, it's real fun to watch me watch a soccer game. When I'm like,
that's even better than the actual game.
What is happening right now?
So there's a lot of nuance in soccer, and that's one of
Yes.
those rules that is like It just changed. So we actually talked about it on the broadcast, how that is a rule that I actually like that they changed. And it's the first one in a long time that I can actually say that.
I feel like what you just said is I have a lot less nuance in my life, which is true. So what we're learning about me today is I don't like running in the heat. I don't have a lot of nuance.
You don't like overtime.
Or patience. I don't have a lot of any of those things.
When I came into the league in 2007, I was making $11,500 a year. I made $400 a paycheck. And to see where it's come now is night and day, and to be a part of that growth is something that's really special. But I think for the Sounders I think we still have about 60 guys from 1974 that are still local and still in the area. And so our alumni association is really good now. And we're trying to build that, especially in this 50th year. And then we have the new facility at Long Acres, which to bring that in, you got to take a tour. It's insane. It is state of the art, and it's brand new. It's so nice. And these guys have no excuse to get the job done. But yeah, 50 years for the Sounders is a heck of a milestone. The new jerseys are beautiful. Yep. And I think just what this club means to the city is really special. And the impact we have on the community too is second to none. Yeah. And that's my kind of role. Yes, I'm a brand ambassador. I do radio, I do podcasts every week with Steve Zakawani, but mostly working with the Rave Foundation has been eye-opening for me. When I was a player, the Rave Foundation had just kind of gotten kicked up, and the vision was to build 26 mini pitches, which are futsal courts. So we're gonna have an education, see? So, futsal. Futsal started in Brazil, and basically it's a basketball-sized court. Okay. Think of indoor soccer on a basketball-sized court, but with no walls. It has out of bounds. Okay. And it's a much heavier ball, so the ball stays on the ground the whole time. So it's really about skills and moving. It's 5v5, just like basketball, and there's no offsides. So it's really like basketball.
I don't have to worry about the rules.
You'd love it.
Is there a clock that ends when the game is over, or is there extra?
I think there might be actually a clock that just ends.
This is my sport.
Just like indoor soccer.
This is my sport.
So the Rave Foundation, our goal is to build 26 of these mini pitches, what we call them, or Rave fields, all throughout the state of Washington by 2026, which is when the World Cup comes to Seattle. And we're going to surpass that by the time 2026 comes around. It's really, really fun to be a part of, because we've handed out over 30,000 soccer balls. Everyone that lives within a mile of that field, no matter who they are, can come get a soccer ball, right? And so that's what speaks everyone's language.
Look at what this is doing on its own.
Yeah, the liquid is, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Right, we're getting there.
We're getting there.
It's going to be really, really good. It smells amazing.
Really, really good.
When do we add the peas? That's very end?
At the very end. Okay. Do you eat peas?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Everything.
It's really a shame when I find out people don't like any ingredient.
That's why I didn't even answer the text. Do you not like anything?
I noticed that, and I was like, well, that really stresses me out. That really stresses me out. Here's what might stress you out. We're going to play Virtual Master Chef.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 5 ingredients, and I want you to tell me what you would do with these 5 ingredients. Like, we're going to put this on the plate together. Okay. This should be no problem for somebody that has now been in 2 different cooking episodes. Okay? Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Chicken.
Okay.
Pepper jelly. Cream cheese. Panko. And farro.
So I would slice the chicken breast, put the jelly and the cheese inside, and then bread it, and then cook the farro. Yeah. And then I'd probably bake the chicken, and then it will all melt in there. Guys. I didn't see that beforehand either.
That's
really
pretty
good. Thank you.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
You could also turn it into a farro
do?
bake. No, I would have done the same thing. Okay. But you could also do the farro, the cream cheese, and the pepper jelly together, like as a bake.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then do the chicken on the top.
Chicken on top, true. I like mine better, though.
I tell you what, we are almost ready to finish this off. So what we are going to do is hit pause, reset, and be right back.
Hey there, it's me. Food. Whenever you need me.
Can I get that fried chicken?
I'm ready for you. Especially when you're busy. And you're always busy.
So awesome.
But no matter what, we find time for this. So go ahead and enjoy the moment. Because there's plenty to go around. Keep it easy, my friends. Sincerely, food. Sincerely, Safeway.
Our barley risotto is almost done. We are having a fabulous conversation. However, Brad actually has to go back to work because we are going to finish this much in the same way that we would finish a traditional risotto. What we're going to add to this, how about if we add some peas first?
Peas first.
Because they're still partially frozen, so we're going to dump them in here. Perfect. That's going to be a little color. Not even going to call that a party foul. It just kind of is.
It'll sit there for the next 3 years.
You'll
always remember this day.
Do you think I don't clean my stove? How long do you think I go without? That is actually a flame under there.
Yeah, but it's tiny.
You are a risk taker.
I mean, it's not really a flame, is it? It's not bad. We're almost done cooking. It's like pretty low.
Well, yes, I still don't need anybody to burn themselves.
I think honestly the only time I ever eat peas is in risotto.
Oh.
I never eat peas. Do you?
Well, I guess that's just true.
Yeah,
A pilaf, maybe? Like a pilaf?
Yeah, I don't make a pilaf.
I know, since I'm not at
just-
home anymore and mom's not cooking for me, there's no side
There's
of
no
peas.
peas, no frozen peas anywhere.
That's a great point. That is a great point. I'm gonna ask you, more food questions in just a second, but here's what I need. A quarter cup of heavy cream.
Quarter cup.
And then if you want to put that pat of, I do love that.
Do you,
And if you,
I was just gonna ask.
I do have some chef friends and they all really enjoy that.
Really?
Yes.
kinda
It's
weird
also
to
a sign of respect. I totally get it.
Behind. Do you appreciate that?
What?
What do you mean?
Did you just say?
That's like kitchen terminology 101. Behind. Behind.
Yeah, there's nobody ever cooking behind me, so that really threw me for a
Well,
loop.
they're doing dishes.
I,
How much butter was that?
about 2 tablespoons.
Jeez. Okay.
Do you have training in the morning, or are you okay with that?
Oh, I'm good.
I'm gonna see, so I say quarter of a cup of cheese or more, so you're gonna have to figure out, see, that's more than a quarter cup, so
Thank
if
you.
I added,
You
saying, you can't get upset about the amount of butter I added if that's the amount of cheese you added.
You get one indulgence, as do I. Cheese is a big one
I
for
love
me.
cheese.
Yeah.
And wine. I love cheese
Cheese
and
and
wine.
wine.
We've already
What
established
a pairing.
this.
How nice is like a sharp knife, by the
It's
way?
really good.
Is there anything better? Cheese.
There's probably,
Cheese.
I should have known you were gonna
So we're
answer.
zesting.
We're zesting. So that's a fancy zester. It is sweet potato,
Andouille.
barley, andouille sausage risotto. What do you think? Let's
I mean, it smells amazing. Yeah. Perfect.
for an easy meal that you don't have to stand and stir.
Yeah. I'm
Just set it and
I'm
forget it
stealing
time.
this.
Are you?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. This is
I honestly didn't even know you could do that with us.
actually, thank you.
Cheers. Thank
Cheers.
you. This is awesome.
This is really
Yeah.
good. If you make it at home, please send a picture and tell us how it went. And obviously, we have had a lot of fun telling stories and cooking and connecting together over food. That is not possible for everybody, which is why for every episode of I Cook, You Measure, a donation is made to a nonprofit working to end food insecurity in our community. And for this episode, we will also be making a donation to the Rave Foundation to continue the work that they are doing across Washington.
Awesome.
So, thank you to Brad. Thank you to you for watching. We'll see you next time. And I think no, we're gonna start that again. I don't like anything that I just said there. That never happens, by
She
the
didn't
way.
like Soccer Legend? That's
I like
messed up.
Soccer Legends.
You just gave me the knife.
That's. I hope you're still rolling on this. I think this is an outtake. Okay, you ready? Here we go. I Cook, You Measure is presented by Safeway, who encourages you to step up for our high school student athletes through the Nourishing Champions program. The collaboration with Champions of Change provides funding for nutritious snacks and meals for all high school sports teams in need. Use the QR code to donate to Nourishing Champions and fuel success on and off the field.